So I was searching YouTube for some top quality content, you know, to saturate my little fucking beak. And I was greeted by something that just made me rock hard, I'm sorry to say. And that has to be the Dobre brothers trying to drown not only their mum, but also their dad in the latest video this week. You've probably seen it, it's been talked about a lot, so I'm not going to talk about that here. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, they basically just, you know, have totally unscripted videos where they carry sleeping people at 90-degree angles, you know, top quality content, so, you know, definitely realistic. Anyway, I got interested, so I started binge watching their awful content so you don't have to, and the latest video I think just sums everything up about them in a fucking nutshell in less than 10 minutes. So the latest video claims their property was attacked, so let's have a look at that. I just want to point out the fact that they had to put "not a prank" in the fucking title of their video, and that alone just makes me feel like this whole thing was fake, even if it wasn't so already fucking obvious for all the 10-year-olds out there. So we start off the bat being ear raped by a random noise. Top quality content really from a person with 1 million subscribers, just what you would expect at the end of the day. I just love it how the first 10 seconds have no volume except for half a second where you actually get deafened. Just to point out as well, I actually reduced the volume of that ear rape. If you actually go to their video right now and listen to it for yourself, you will be deafened. Like, I'm not even joking, it's fucking horrible. If you had headphones on and you listen to this video, I honestly feel sorry for you, but if you really want a challenge, you should go over to their video and try and listen to the first 10 seconds with headphones on, because they actually made my ears bleed, and yeah, it's just not very fucking nice, and that could have just been edited out in 10 seconds, but I suppose that's too much effort for them. So they run outside their house to confront the people who are throwing shit at it, like eggs and stuff, which is completely reasonable. And you've got to give the author credit for the script, because their reactions are just fucking golden, like absolutely brilliant. For some reason they're running with their shirts off chasing these people. You might as well add re-sound effects to the fucking background of this video, because that's what it actually is. It's very stupid. Like, no one would react in the way they're doing it. Like, they just want to, for some reason, have a fist fight. And when they get close, the guy just runs, like, turns around and starts laughing. And I'm like, would you really do that if some people just, you know, damaged your property and probably ruined the house value or whatever you want to? I don't know. I'm not into houses and stuff. But you know what I'm getting at. Basically, he was so close to catching him, he had to stop running. And they couldn't be bothered to refilm this clip, which is just hilarious, just like the intro. And it just shows how lazy these videos are made. But at the end of the day, these people are running around without their tops on, and that's just how it is. So whilst this is all going on, another Dobre brother comes out of nowhere like Randy Orton, looking to RKO some of these trespassers, which for some reason I actually thought was fucking hilarious. Not due to the content, but just to how poorly it was fucking filmed, because you got the camera guy who was, you know, right behind the guy who just pelted his house with eggs, and for some reason decides to stop chasing them with his other friends, and randomly run back to the house for no reason. Like, there is actually no context why these guys would think there are other people egging their house. But for some reason they go back to the house, and yeah, this guy just comes out of nowhere, who I honestly thought was one of the original two of the Dobre brothers. But no, it's a completely different guy who looks fairly similar. They all got really bad fake tans and, like, you know, similar haircuts, so it's kind of hard to tell them apart. The only difference with this guy is looks like he's from the 90s with his highlights, but, you know, everyone's had highlights at one point, or I fucking hope so, because oh god, there's some old images of me when I was like 10 with highlights and they look fucking dreadful, but apparently some people never grow out of that phase. Anyway, I just thought this was fucking hilarious, not because it was them who did it intentionally, but because of how poorly it was put together. And I have to give them credit. I don't know if it was intentionally put together like shit, but if it was, credit to you, because I honestly laughed out loud, because that was just fucking stupid.
Dude, they egged your car.
Oh yeah!
Hey!
Did you egg our house? Huh? Did you egg our house? Did you egg our house?
No, well, I'm looking for a property. I don't know where the street ends here.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine.
So after this has all transpired, they decide to jump in their discount Borderlands buggy and start harassing people in the local neighborhood, because they're just good neighbors, I guess. And they drive up to someone and start harassing him when they just drive past, and they're like, "Hey man, did you throw eggs at my house?" And he's just like, "What the fuck are you on about?" And it's just really fucking cringy, to be honest. But I have to admit, these guys seem really nice and calm in real life and very fucking passive, because they just believe little old Pedro over here, who could, if this was real, could have just pelted this guy's house with eggs, and he's in the area for no reason with a really shit fucking excuse, if I'm honest, that I'm randomly lost outside your house. Like, I don't know where you live, but this isn't fucking Bear Grylls in the wilderness. It's, you know, you're not in the middle of nowhere, so it's not very believable. But they seem like nice guys, and they just let it slide, because clearly they just got a random guy and started harassing him, and they started feeling bad, harassing him for no reason. So I gotta give them credit, they are nice people, or so they seem. They could be absolute horrible in real life, but I need to give them some credit where it's due. So some of you still might be thinking that this might have actually happened, since I imagine they get quite a lot of hate, like my video right now, hating on them because of the type of content they produce. And if you think this is real, I'm just gonna let you on a little secret. They refuse to call the police, which is just completely unrealistic. And to be honest, I'll just let the clip speak for itself, because there's nothing I can say that will convince you more.
We don't have any evidence, like no footprints, nothing. Like we don't have anything.
I just find it honestly hilarious how they say they have no evidence, then go on for the next 4 to 5 minutes showing evidence that they could give to the police, which would honestly making finding these people a piece of piss for them, since you got basically full body profile shots of people throwing shit at your house. But you know, that would just be too believable and too honest if they actually did, and they would just be wasting police time, because this is clearly fake. And we both know realistically why they even mentioned the police to begin with. It's because they want to trick their 10-year-old fans, because even 10-year-olds can understand if you do something bad, or something bad has happened to you, the police will be called on you. So it's just to basically reinforce that idea. Anyway, the video kind of abruptly ends there with them debating if they should call the police or not. Mainly, they're not calling the police. I think that's quite obvious for everyone who just watched this. And yeah, honestly, it was pretty fucking entertaining, but not for the reasons you might think. It was entertaining because it wasn't entertaining, if that makes any sense. Like, it was just so bad that I thought it was hilarious. If it was intentionally made that way, honestly, the person who made that is a genius, but we both know that's not true. Anyway guys, that's the end of this video. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, it would mean the world to me if you could. Leave a comment down below what you think of the Dobre brothers, and remember to leave a like if you haven't already. And I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has supported the channel, because we've had absolutely amazing growth, and I couldn't do it without you. Anyway guys, I'll catch you in the next one.